Mr. Delano, how are you?
Is that still correct to say from the Buffalo Police Department?
Say that again?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Is it still correct to say Detective Delano from the Buffalo Police Department?
Yeah, I guess. No, I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah, it's still working as far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
I guess the first question to you, Detective, is why are you still suspended?
I don't know.
Great.
That's a bad question because I don't know the answer to that.
Do you know when you won't be suspended anymore?
No.
Okay.
So, in other words, is there a hearing coming up?
I have not heard not one word since I was suspended from anybody in the department.
That's the upper brass at the Buffalo Police Department. Hey, that's a shame right there.
It is a shame.
That's an absolute shame. And I mean, is it a pissing match? I know obviously you pissed off the wrong people, but so what? I mean, there should be protections, I guess, in place. What about the union? Has the union? Can the union help in any way at this point?
Well, no, because I use a. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm getting a little static in the phone, but what do you call it? They supply me with an attorney. We went to an informal hearing at one point where I pled not guilty to everything because I didn't trust the commissioner to decide my fate. And at that point, I requested a formal hearing. Actually, the attorney did. I didn't say a word, and that's where I'm at. And that's the last I heard from anybody.
Okay.
That's infuriating. That really is. So, in other words, you just sit back and go, well, I don't. I mean, it's with pay. They're paying you. I guess it's a good thing. But, from our end of it, we'd like to actually see you go back and do what you were doing before, which is, righting a couple of wrongs from the past 20, 25 years or so. I'm guessing on your desk, you probably have a couple of files that you still were working on, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a number of them, but my partners are there. They're very capable, and they're probably overwhelmed with all that stuff by now. I mean,
at the very least, you could be helping.
Yeah, we didn't have that much manpower to begin with, and so they're handling it by themselves.
So subtract somebody else, and that's what you've got. So you've got them all scrambling.
I feel a little bit guilty because there was some. You get kind of involved with the families and that, and you kind of hate to let anybody down, in this type of situation. And there's nothing. It's really out of my control, that end of it, So it's kind of frustrating. But on the other hand, there was so many. How do I put it? Things that went on that were distasteful in this whole situation that I'm not so sure that my heart is in working for these people anymore.
It's a shame. That's a real shame. You could talk. By the way, Detective Delano was on with us. We watched a little of that show, and it's got to be tough because I'm guessing emotion drives you sometimes. It'll make you work harder to actually solve a case like this. So it's unfair for them to subtract emotion out of the situation. If emotion made you release those tapes, emotion probably also made you work extra hard to get this thing done. So it's a good and bad thing. I mean, we were trying to figure out what he deserves as far as a suspension. What do we say? You take a week off,
2 weeks,
take a week, 2 weeks, and get the hell back to work.
I'll tell you what. The truth of the matter is that there's some people in the higher up in the department that have come out outright and lied about the situation, and I'll tell you what the truth is that I'd never released what would be considered evidence. I would never do that. I'm more, I've been around for a long time. I've been an investigator. I would never jeopardize an open investigation. That's absurd to even insinuate it. But they felt that was the best way to get rid of me, I guess, so I'd shut up or something. It didn't hurt. It didn't work. I think it backfired on them, and that's their problem. But as far as I'm concerned, I did not release anything that would be considered evidence. I never saw the actual evidence itself. That's secured in our evidence facility,
right.
Our evidence people. What I did was I made a copy of a crime scene video that it was a common procedure. It was common for me to do this, to study the crime scene and see if there's anything you can pull out of it. It was a low quality to begin with, but it was a copy of a copy. So I never did touch the actual evidence. I don't even, I never saw the actual tape because we request a copy of the evidence, not the evidence itself.
Right.
So if he insinuated, the commissioner insinuated that I somehow broke the chain of evidence by releasing evidence, and that's a lie, and he knew that, and that bothers me when a person of that stature could stand there and misrepresent the truth like
right.
that.
But at this point, the punishment just isn't fitting the crime. It isn't. I don't know what type of message they're going to send at this point, but you certainly don't deserve this amount of time on the side of the road for what you did, if you did anything. So
yeah, and I could prove my case if I had a hearing, but they're not giving me a hearing to do that. So I don't know. It's really in their ballpark. That's all I'm waiting for is a formal hearing, so I could justify my actions. There was no. The bottom line is the case was long declared non-investigatable anymore. It was not a case. It was not a homicide anymore. How can you have evidence if you don't have a homicide?